Good evening and welcome to TinkerTanks-WoT. This is a Tier 4 battle on the El Huluf Desert map. I'm in my British Tier 3 light tank, the Cruiser Mk.IV. And this is part of the British armor philosophy that was in use at the beginning of World War II, where they had heavily armored, heavy, very slow infantry support tanks and very light, fast scout cavalry tanks, like the Cruiser series. And this particular vehicle was very quick, very mobile, very little armor. But it had a good 2-pound gun that was adequate against the panzers it faced in North Africa. And here in World of Tanks, I'm actually armed with a Bofors Autocannon. It's a 40mm cannon that takes a 4-round magazine, which it fires off in two 2-round bursts. And I'm being pretty cautious because, well, I have very little armor. And this is where one usually starts to encounter enemy tanks on this map. So I'm poking the corners carefully, keeping under cover as much as possible. Because sooner or later somebody is going to show up around that corner. Maybe move up a little bit and have a look-see. I've got to be very careful because the thin armor was one of the other reasons these tanks were popular, is that they were easy to get out of quickly when your tank was on fire from having been penetrated by, say, a child's BB gun or something similar. And watching that corner, and there's a T-26 Russian light tank, which my gun is quite adequate to, but doesn't really do enough damage straight up to take him out all at once. Fortunately, I have a friend in an Mk.IV coming up, and he does have quite heavy armor for a Tier 4, so I'm going to let him poke the corner and see what's what, because he can take a shot a whole lot better than I can. But I'm waiting when the Russian comes back around and put an end to him. So once again, I'm going to let the Mk.IV move up and see what's what. And I think I'm actually going to go around the other side of this outcropping and see what's up over there, because there's only one other light tank over here that we know of, and the Mk.IV should have things well in hand. So I'll hop around the other side and have a look. And the mobility of this tank is really quite good. It looks like a couple of my friends have found a American M3 medium tank and are apparently determined to impale themselves on his 75mm gun and die. Can't be having that, so I'll see what I can do. And open up on him and bounce a couple shots. His armor really is a bit marginal for my gun. And his 75mm, however, will have no trouble at all with my armor. And fortunately, I have a fast reload, which is really fortunate because I'm about to bounce an entire clip off his armor without doing even a little bit of damage, while he puts a round into me that, you know, takes a noticeable portion of my health. Fortunately, his side armor's a lot thinner, and my gun is adequate. That could have been very bad. That artillery almost hit me, and if it had, I would be dead, because that high explosive shell would have gone right through my armor and blown up inside the tank and just wrecked me. So here's another light tank, and my friend the Stug is engaging him. I get around into him. But before I can get around to line up another shot on him, the friendly Stug has put paid to him. So, southward to bigger and better things. There's still a good few tanks on the enemy side. It does look like things on the other side of the map are quite well in hand. There's certainly enough people over there to deal with anything going on that I can see. So I'm going to come down and scout out some arty, because I do love to munch on some arty. Very tasty for a light tank. And of course, anything else I find along the way, I want to be careful it doesn't get a good shot at me. And something like that M8A1 armor destroyer, who could be very bad news for me indeed, if he were not looking the other way. So let's see if he's tunnel vision, because usually in that position he'd be facing out over the valley. And yep, he's totally focused the other direction, but you know, I'm a cheap date, I'll take it. You know, I'll just have him from behind, and that's the end of him. And looking at the map, there's another armor destroyer on the south. So I'll head that way, but my friends have taken care of him. So, onward in my quest for artillery. I can't say the word. Now, pretty often over here, the artillery is hiding behind that town. Good place. They've got a high angle of fire on their guns, so they can hide back there and be safely out of range of any long-range shots, while being not really impeded at all themselves. But they're behind me. They're actually not on the other side. There's two of them. One might still be back here, but my friends are in trouble because that artillery is killing them. So I better go back and help. And I spend a whole magazine just getting through this wall, aiming a little too high, so I missed the artillery piece. Wait for the reload, move forward, line up my shot, and the Stoke drives in the way and gets killed. But I'll avenge him quite promptly. That's it for one of the two arties. Now there's still a Tier 3 medium American tank, an M2 out there. He's moderately dangerous. And of course the other artillery, who is not back here. So very likely he's down south of the cap circle, over the crest of that hill over there. So we'll just go over and have a look. Nice day for a drive after all. And this tank really does have good mobility. I mean, it gets right around. I've covered a lot of territory in this game. So coming up on that hill, do I see artillery? No, but I see an M2 medium with a 75mm howitzer who proceeds to blow my tracks off and then put another round in me, taking more than half my remaining health. But once again, the trusty Bofors gun takes him out, and oh look, there's the other artillery, which inexplicably is sitting right on top of the hill instead of being on the other side of it out of sight, and presents no challenge at all. So that's the end of the game. I didn't save the scorecard, so we can't go over the stats, but gives you a pretty good idea of what this tank is capable of in a Tier 3 or 4 game. And, you know, it's not useless even in a Tier 5 game, which is the maximum tier it sees. So if you like this video, please like it below, and we'll talk to you again soon. Have a nice day.